At times, it's surprising that this is the year he made it.
The only quarterback who's already been listed is Bryce Young. So my guess is that he'll come in like 14th. My guess is they'll be, or 15th, something like that.
Oh, of the quarterback.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Who's been listed? Bryce Young?
Just Bryce.
Bryce, because they're counting down from 100.
So
Bryce
Bryce
Young
was
He was
came
in
like
the top
98.
100?
Yeah, shout out to Bryce. Also, can I give you a bonus winner? Bonus winner. Us and this show because of the World Cup. Because if not for the World Cup, that story, which got 90 seconds at the end of the show, would have been A2.
It has become something of a taboo in the broader football discourse to offer genuine praise to quarterbacks like Brock Purdy or Bryce Young. To acknowledge their achievements is almost seen as a contrarian act, a deviation from the accepted narrative. If not for the fortuitous timing of the World Cup providing a distraction, the national conversation around these players would have been utterly devastating. We are, it seems, simply not permitted to bestow flowers upon Bryce Young for orchestrating a dramatic reversal of fortune in his career, for pulling his professional dream back from the brink of oblivion. We are not allowed to celebrate the renaissance of the Carolina Panthers, to dissect their progress, or to give credit where it is demonstrably due. No, that is entirely off-limits. Well, I am going to do exactly that. I am going to place this topic front and center in my opening segment. Since the mainstream shows like First Things First are seemingly unwilling to broach the subject, I will take it upon myself, because I find this development to be genuinely fantastic. Consider the context. Bryce Young, entering the season ranked 98th on the NFL Top 100, the first overall selection of the 2023 NFL Draft, has just steered the Panthers to their most fruitful campaign since he was chosen. Carolina clinched the NFC South Division title, a feat highlighted by a monumental upset victory over the Los Angeles Rams in the regular season. This was followed by a narrow, heartbreaking 3-point loss to the same Rams team in the wild card round, a defeat that was in no way attributable to Bryce Young's performance. He played with exceptional skill, consistently putting his team in a position to secure victory. In fact, his performance in that playoff game was one of the premier quarterback displays of the entire postseason. It's a fact, he outplayed Matthew Stafford. I declared this immediately after the game concluded, and I faced a torrent of criticism for it. But that does not change the reality of what transpired. Before I delve deeper into this analysis, I must issue a plea to the Carolina Panthers faithful. Please, I implore you, do not forget to subscribe to the channel and watch the full-length video. This is, without question, the single most effective way to support the continued growth of this platform. It is through your support that we can maintain our commitment to providing the most unbiased, grounded, and honest dialogue about the Panthers. Your subscription makes a tangible difference, and I would be immensely grateful for it. Now, back to the matter at hand. In his second year under the tutelage of head coach Dave Canales, and isn't it remarkable how competent coaching can transform a team's fortunes, Young set personal career bests in a multitude of statistical categories: passing yards, touchdowns, success percentage, and yards per game. Beyond the numbers, he also garnered the respect of his peers in the NFL, a fact underscored by his inclusion in the NFL Top 100 list for the first time. It's a significant milestone. Bryce Young was the author of numerous truly impressive moments throughout the season. You could observe the burgeoning confidence, the growing composure in the pocket. The transformation was palpable. You can see the stark, fundamental differences in his mechanics and decision-making compared to his rookie year. This is shaping up to be an incredibly exciting season to watch the Carolina Panthers because, as I have stated before, this organization currently has all its ducks in a row. They have a clearly defined plan, a strategic roadmap. Consequently, this upcoming season represents a moment of absolute clarity. They have assembled all the necessary components around Bryce Young to facilitate his success. Therefore, the evaluation is straightforward. If he fails to perform, the organization will have its definitive answer: this is not the direction we are going to continue in. Conversely, if he succeeds, they will confidently affirm, excellent, we know we are ready to move forward. They are poised to compete at a high level. It is the ultimate clarity. Everything is in place: the offensive scheme, the defensive unit, the running game support, the coaching staff, the receiving core, they are all prepared. I am not suggesting it is a flawless roster. I am not implying it is stacked with Pro Bowl talent. I am certainly not calling it a juggernaut. However, it is all very, very good and, more importantly, exceptionally well organized. When you consider the disarray of the team's recent past, their performance last year demonstrated a significantly higher degree of discipline and accountability. I anticipate this trend to continue and intensify. I expect this coming season to show even more improvement over the last. Let me put it this way to illustrate my point. I believe this is a perfect way to frame the situation. Now, this analogy isn't universally applicable, but I am convinced it holds true for the Carolina Panthers. It might sound counterintuitive at first, so allow me to finish the thought before you rush to the comments section to voice your disagreement. When the Panthers played their best football, when they were successful, whether for a single play, a drive, an entire quarter, or a full game, that was the authentic team. That was a true representation of who the Carolina Panthers are. Conversely, when they fell short, when they appeared disconnected, when the viewer was left bewildered by the product on the field, that, to me, was a misrepresentation. It was an aberration. That was not their true identity, particularly not in the 2025 season. Again, I recognize that this logic is not always sound. Many would argue the opposite, that a team's great performances are the outliers. For instance, when the Panthers had a phenomenal game, like the one against the Rams, the common refrain was, "That's an outlier, that's not a true reflection of this team." But I reject that notion. Those outstanding games are a legitimate demonstration of their capability. They are a testament to how great this team can actually be. That is who Bryce Young is. That is precisely why that playoff performance was so profoundly impressive to me. It's why I was seemingly the only person on the planet, outside of the Carolina fanbase, who believed the Panthers could win that game and that Bryce Young was capable of leading them to victory. He proved me right. And this was his first ever playoff start. We used to make a significant point of that. We used to celebrate when a quarterback performed well in his postseason debut. Yet, in this instance, it was largely ignored. He put the Panthers in a position to win, there is no doubt about that. That is an incredibly impressive feat for me. That level of performance is more the default expectation for him now. When Bryce Young has time in the pocket, he can be a legitimate playmaker. I don't believe he excels at improvising on his second or third reaction. When he is in control of the moment, when the play unfolds as designed, he can function at a remarkably high level. However, when the pocket collapses and things become chaotic, his play tends to become a bit wonky, a bit sketchy. This might simply be who he ultimately is as a quarterback. And that is perfectly acceptable. Perhaps, with experience, this tendency will be smoothed out. Interestingly, this is a similar challenge currently facing CJSTR. Booed, when everything is under control, he is a potent playmaker. But when he is forced to improvise, he can have a habit of making things worse. It's a flaw you want to correct and minimize. But as I consistently say, when you are striving to win a Super Bowl, the primary requirement is for the team to be more consistent. You need the team as a whole to perform at a higher level overall. That is the extent of what you are asking Bryce Young to do at this juncture. You are not asking him to carry the team on his back and elevate them single-handedly. That is not his role, and if that is your expectation, you are making a significant strategic error. That is not the purpose of his presence here. I am confident that this is not what the Panthers front office thinks either. They clearly understand their personnel and their strategy. If Bryce Young can continue to smooth out the inconsistencies in his game, the Panthers are in an absolutely fantastic position to sign him to a competitive, team-friendly contract. In an era where quarterbacks are commanding salaries of $60 million or more per year, securing a competent franchise quarterback for considerably less is an absolute necessity. It is a monumental advantage. It is simply huge. So, the task is to ask Bryce Young to continue to level out his performance. I frequently discuss the concept that players, especially quarterbacks, as their performance is more straightforward to analyze, are never just one thing. An elite quarterback does not play at an elite level every single game. They have bad games, sometimes really bad ones. The distinguishing factor is the rate of consistency. The NBA provides the easiest representation of this. A role player, a third or fourth option, can have a 40-point or even a 50-point game. They can go on a scoring run over 3 games, averaging 30 points, and you might think, if they could do this all the time, they'd be a top-tier player. But they can't. That's the defining characteristic of true superstars, their ability to perform at a high level with greater frequency. It all depends on the rate of performance. Dak Prescott absolutely has elite games in him, but perhaps he delivers that elite performance 2 or 3 times out of 10. Patrick Mahomes, on the other hand, operates at that elite level 7 or 8 times out of 10. That is how the spectrum works. A backup quarterback might be elite once out of 10 times. But then there is the other critical factor: when you are bad, how low is your floor? A true backup has a floor that can be catastrophically low. Conversely, there are backup quarterbacks who cannot reach that elite level even 1 out of 10 times, but their floor is relatively high and consistent. They are, essentially, okay quarterbacks, not a disaster, not terrible, but consistently passable. This is why it is so crucial in evaluating a quarterback to determine not just the level they reach, but also the process behind it. How are they achieving the IR level of play? How are they getting their performances, and at what rate? We have all seen Patrick Mahomes play truly awful games. The same applies to Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, and Joe Burrow. They all have bad days. The question is, what does that mean in the context of their overall body of work? This is precisely what I am excited to continue to discern with Bryce Young. He now has the ultimate support system in place for a proper evaluation, allowing us to determine what we can realistically expect from him moving forward. There is, quite obviously, a significant amount of respect due to him. People are recognizing Bryce Young's capabilities, his evolution, and the growing consistency in his game. They also acknowledge the patience the Carolina Panthers organization has demonstrated in his development. For me, it all culminates and coalesces this season. The Panthers are making bold moves, taking calculated risks, because they genuinely believe they can win and improve upon last year's performance. Their actions are not for entertainment, they are driven by a genuine belief in their team and their quarterback. All the chips are on the table. Perhaps Nick Wright and the rest of the panel are not enthusiastic about it. But I am. I am genuinely excited to see what happens and ready to discuss it in depth. Those are my thoughts on the matter. I would be absolutely thrilled to hear yours. What is your perspective on Bryce Young and the Carolina Panthers? What do you make of Bryce Young making the top 100 list? Please share your opinions in the comments section below. I make it a point to read every single comment. Whether you are in agreement with my assessment or you vehemently disagree, let's engage in some productive discussion. Let's have some spirited debates. Ultimately, let's ensure we are all having fun. Please do consider subscribing to the channel. We are cultivating an amazing community here, and I would be honored to have you as a part of it. My goal is to build something to which we all feel a genuine sense of connection, something we are all excited to contribute to. I believe we are well on our way. Please also don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it significantly aids visibility and helps the algorithm. Thank you so much for your time and engagement. I look forward to seeing you in the next one.